All right, good day. It's a pleasure to be with you today to provide an overview of the Caregiver Support Program. My name is Marie Bolfer. I am a program coordinator here at Lovell Federal Healthcare Center. I have dated this presentation October 28th, 2024, just as an FYI, as there are sometimes changes to our program. So this is current as of today. All right, I want to start with a story, one of the many stories we've heard from those caring for our nation's veterans. This is the story of someone I will call Samantha and her son David. David proudly and bravely served in the U.S. Army in support of Operation Iraqi Freedom. David was medically discharged from the Army due to PTSD and paranoid schizophrenia. When he got home 11 years ago, he struggled and his behaviors were hard for his family to understand. He had changed so much since he first entered the military. His mother, Samantha, found herself feeling confused, stressed, lonely, and even guilty at times. She shared with us that she felt like a failure and, in her words, a bad mother. She blamed herself for not having done enough for her son to help prevent where he was at today. This was the point that Samantha found the Caregiver Support Program. She credits the program with helping her work through those feelings. Through the program, she learned to care for herself. She learned skills to help care for and protect her son. Through it all, she's learned a lot about herself and has learned to love her role as a caregiver. She even gives back to other caregivers, mentoring those in similar situations. Samantha is one of so many caregivers who we serve that have had similar thoughts, feelings, worries about the veteran they care about. While the diagnosis, care needs, or relationships may be different from caregiver to caregiver, there are often commonalities in the shared experience of caregiving. I want to share a little bit about this now. Just like you heard in Samantha's story, there are many positive impacts in the caregiving journey. Some of these include a sense of fulfillment, connecting with others on a similar journey, feeling needed and having a role, and learning about oneself and even what's important in life. There's additional impacts to the caregiving role. A RAND study in 2014 focused on military and veteran caregivers. In that study, they saw that there's higher stress, higher levels of depression, strain and decline on physical health. There was also an AARP and National Alliance for Caregiving study done in 2020 that focused on U.S. caregivers. This study found that 23% of caregivers reported worsened health. They reported that they found it difficult to care for their own health needs, and 21% reported feeling alone. That brings us to our mission in the Caregiver Support Program. So these, among countless other reasons, are why we are so honored to serve in the Caregiver Support Program, reaching caregivers who care for our nation's veterans across the country. Caregivers are now officially in VA's mission statement, as you can see here. VA has made the promise to care for those who served our nation and for their families, caregivers, and survivors. Our mission is to promote the health and well-being of family caregivers. We do that through education, resources, support, and services. The Caregiver Support Program has a wide range of services and support available to caregivers. The way we frame the supports we offer are in the following categories: skills training, online and mobile support, one-to-one coaching and support, group support and coaching, peer support mentoring, resources and referrals. We work diligently to get the right support to each caregiver at the right time. So now we'll take a further look at these supports. We have skills trainings to help caregivers develop the skills they need to care for the veterans in their life. These include VA Save for caregivers. Caregivers play an important role in suicide prevention. They may be the first to notice changes in the veteran, or may be the one that a veteran turns to when having suicidal thoughts. VA Save is a training that provides information and steps anyone can take when a veteran may be at risk for suicide. It's critically important that caregivers have the tools they need to intervene. We've also linked a suicide prevention toolkit for caregivers that is available on our website. We also offer CPR for caregivers. This initiative supports the goal of having a lifesaver in every home. We've also developed a short video on hands-only CPR for caregivers in partnership with the Red Cross. Not all caregivers can come to in-person offerings, so we make other supports available to them at their fingerprints. These include Annie text messaging. This entails texts sent to caregivers on self-care, tips, and inspiration. Caregivers share it feels like getting a text from a supportive friend. One example of a text that might be sent is, don't second guess yourself. Trust the healthcare team and trust yourself. You're doing the right thing by helping your loved one. We also have Building Better Caregivers. This is an online workshop. This includes 6 weekly self-paced lessons, facilitator guidance, and group support. It also provides access to an alumni community for program graduates. We also have a CSP website library. This is full of information via fact sheets, toolkits, and videos. For example, there's dementia series and videos on how to safely transfer their loved ones. In addition to those, we also support caregivers with one-on-one coaching and support through the following. We have CHIWalk, which stands for Caregiver Health and Wellbeing Coaching. In this program, we utilize a whole health/whole person approach, focusing on what matters to you, not what is the matter with you. This program focuses solely on the caregiver and what they want their health for to help motivate them by those things they value most. The coach guides the caregiver through identifying their needs, setting goals, and working towards obtaining them. Another one-on-one coaching program we have is called REACH VA, stands for Resources for Enhancing All Caregivers' Health, Individual Coaching. In this program, the coach works with the caregiver directly to target problem behaviors or challenges that the caregiver is facing with the veteran. It helps them develop specific strategies through this intervention that assist the caregiver in their role while also providing support to the caregiver. It helps caregivers enhance skills, provides a community, reducing sense of isolation. The coaching is available for specialty populations such as PTSD, dementia, MS, ALS, as well as general coaching. And lastly, we have one-on-one clinical support. Our CSP clinical staff offer support based on the clinical needs of the caregiver from a person-centered approach. This includes active listening and emotional support, assistance with coping skills. Here at Level, my coworker and I are both licensed clinical social workers, so we do provide that clinical support to caregivers. Caregiving can be a very isolating experience. Through our groups, we can help caregivers feel less alone and learn from each other via REACH VA Caregiver. This uses the same coaching and self-care skills that we talked about in the last slide, but in a group setting. In this program, they can learn and practice skills in a group setting and share ideas and tips with their peers. We also have Caregivers First. This is an evidence-based caregiver skills group training program. This has the goal of connecting caregivers with each other and to resources. It helps them feel more confident, capable, and supported in their caregiving role. The group is often best received by caregivers who are newer in their role or newer to the VA. We also have self-care and wellness courses, such as Practicing Your Way to Resilience series, Wellness Through Mindfulness, and self-care courses for caregivers. Some examples of these include handling emotions, lowering stress and improving mood, problem solving, and effective communication. And lastly, we have support groups. These can be in-person, closed, or drop-in, virtual, and hybrid. Some groups are based on a specific disease or topic, such as PTSD, Parkinson's, TBI, or something like a book club, craft and connect, or coffee chat. Here at Level, we have both in-person and virtual groups offered monthly. We also offer peer support mentoring. There are some things that only someone who has walked through a similar journey can understand. This is the power of the peer support mentoring program. This program matches a caregiver with a trained mentor, who's another caregiver, who may be further along in their journey to share their experience. It offers fellowship, networking, and decreases the sense of isolation caregivers often feel. We help caregivers prioritize taking breaks each day. We do this through respite. This year, we pushed our teams to prioritize respite. This could be informally, such as utilizing friends, family, church, and neighbors, or formal in the form of paid professionals, and even internal, where the caregiver does not need to rely on anyone for that support. Grabbing a mindful moment with tea on the porch, for example, but being intentional about it or scheduling it in. Formal respite care is offered via our sister office, Geriatrics and Extended Care, and our teams work closely with them and with caregivers to build a plan for respite. We utilize the respite tool. This tool is designed to help caregivers incorporate respite into their daily lives. The tool helps them find and remember what brings them joy. Sometimes caregivers can lose sight of this, as the caregiving role can be all-consuming. The respite tool guides caregivers to consider what they want their respite for and to take the action steps needed. This tool is available on our website. Caregiver support program staff help with connection to resources. CSP staff have subject matter expertise in caregiving and in caregiver resources. They help caregivers connect to the services and support that best meets their needs at VA and in the community. We have an annual caregiver and family resource fair. This takes place at every facility. It brings together both VA and local nonprofits and county representatives to offer information to caregivers and families on the services and support available to them in the local community. Caregivers can find out about their local site's resource fair, including date, time, and location, by connecting with their local PGCSS team. We offer CSL monthly education calls. This is for caregivers in both English and in Spanish. There's new topics every month, some of which have been money management, burnout, or caring for a veteran with a mental health diagnosis. And this slide contains the instructions for how to access those calls. You can also visit our website for more information or to access previous calls as well. We have a national caregiver support line. It's staffed by clinical social workers. The respondents on this call respond to caregivers, veterans, and community agencies. So they can provide information and connect caregivers to their local CSP team. Staff can also just provide a listening ear if that's what's needed at the moment. So how does a caregiver engage in these services? One of two ways. Caregivers can enroll in the program of General Caregiver Support Services, also known as PGCSS, or can apply to and be approved for the program of Comprehensive Assistance for Family Caregivers, also known as PCAFC. First, we'll cover PGCSS. To qualify for PGCSS, the veteran must be enrolled in VA healthcare. The veteran must be in need of assistance with either ADLs or supervision or protection. The veteran must agree to receive care from the caregiver. There is a fact sheet linked here that provides more information about PGCSS. Available services through PGCSS include those I've covered thus far, including the skills training, clinical services to support caregiver health and well-being, and respite. The enrollment process for PGCSS is very simple. You can contact the local CSP team. No formal application is required for this. Once you do that, you will complete a brief intake and a caregiver assessment with the local team to understand the veteran and caregiver's needs. From there, the team helps the caregiver engage in available support and can provide direction based on that caregiver's needs. Next, we'll take a look at PCAFC, Program of Comprehensive Assistance for Family Caregivers. There are 7 veteran eligibility requirements to meet the criteria for this program. These include that the veteran must have a serious injury, that's defined as any service connection disability rating at 70% or more, or combined service-connected disabilities rated at 70% or more by VA. Veteran must need in-person personal care services for a minimum of 6 continuous months based on one or more of the following: an inability to perform an active daily living, a need of supervision or protection based on symptoms or residuals of neurological or other impairment or injury, or a need for regular or extensive instruction or supervision without which the ability of the veteran to function in daily life would be seriously impaired. For the full list of eligibility requirements, you can see our fact sheet or visit our website, which has the most up-to-date information. In addition to the services and supports covered thus far, those who participate in PCFC also have access to enhanced respite care, counseling/VPPC. VA's CSP has implemented a virtual psychotherapy program for caregivers to meet the counseling needs of caregivers approved for PCFC. The focus is on the unique mental health needs of caregivers, like the way VA specializes in the unique mental health needs of veterans. Benny travel, monthly stipend, and CHAMP VA access if uninsured. They also have access to legal and financial planning services for primary family caregivers only. This includes simple wills, advanced directives, debt and credit management, and 90-day financial coaching. Next, we're going to take a look at the PCFC application process. So caregivers and veterans must complete the 1010CG and submit it. Again, that can be found on our website, or you can simply Google 1010CG. You can see here on the slide the steps to the application process. A fact sheet's available on our website as well, which describes these in more detail. I want to highlight one of the best resources we have in the caregiver support program, and that is our teams. These teams use a person-centered approach to meet caregivers where they're at and help them connect to the right resources and services for them. We have a team at every medical center available to help caregivers navigate the ups and downs of the caregiving journey. Here are some caregiver testimonials. Thinking back to where we started with Samantha, she learned about self-care through this program. She was able to focus on her own well-being, which for her was exercising more and eating healthy foods. She now has skills that she can tap into on difficult days. And she now helps mentor other caregivers who also feel empowered and less alone. She knows when and who she can reach out to for help. A lot of our caregivers report back that they just haven't had anyone ask them how they're doing in this role, in this journey, and that can be a huge difference for them, along with connecting with other caregivers who are going through the same situation as them. Another thing I wanted to add about our services for PGCSS are that they can engage in as little or as much programming as they like. There's no pressure. We are here for you on your time. So I have listed the National Caregiver Support Line and then our local level Federal Healthcare Center Caregiver Support Program number as well. If you or your veteran is not receiving care at level, you can visit this website to find out who the contact is. If you have general questions, you can call us as well. So thank you for your time. I appreciate it.